This is a slideshow that Mr. Hamilton is going to introduce to you today, and you essentially are going to be working on it from now until winter break. You're going to be doing certain slides each day, so make sure that you're checking on Google Classroom. But today, you are going to be working on probably the most important part, which is deciding what car to use. And that will take you up to slide 6 today. So, slide 6 is our end goal. But um, at the beginning of the slideshow, it's going to give you a little blurb of information about what this investigation is. The car test was meant to help you decide who had the best car. And today you are going to be talking with your team and you are going to be sharing your results from the car test. And based on those results, you are going to be deciding on one car to use. And this one car that you are going to be using for this investigation is going to be looking at one of Newton's laws, which is more specifically Newton's second law. So you and your group are going to decide whether you are going to look at how force affects acceleration or you're going to be looking at how mass affects acceleration. But you're only going to do one. So in order to get to that point, you have to decide whose car is the best car. So what you're going to do is you're going to record everyone at your table and you're going to go through this little matrix. And this is a little bit of a mess about, so you'll be able to go out into the hallways and kind of play with each other's cars to see if you can even add mass to it. What is the max number of windups or blowups that you can do with your car? Um, because that's going to determine what variables you are going to interact with. So, what you're going to do is you're just going to go down the line and you are going to answer these questions honestly with your group. Once you guys have all of this information filled out and you've been able to test and figure out which one you are interested in studying, you are then going to go through and you are going to tell me whose card you're using and why, and then what you are going to investigate. And this has to be a group decision. So, is your group going to look at how force affects the speed of your car? For example, the number of blowups, the number of windups, or are you going to look at mass? And Mr. Hamilton or Mr. Lewis should have these washers that are huge and they're heavy, and you will be able to add whatever amount of mass you want to add to your car. So, that is another option, but you have to decide between one. Once you have that figured out, you are going to then set up your scientific question, insert a picture of your car or your group's car, and then you are going to end today thinking back about Newton's laws. What do you remember about Newton's laws? What do you remember about motion? We want to try to pull that information because tomorrow we're going to do some of the heavy lifting about variables and procedures. So try to think back to what you remember about Newton's laws. If you remember all three, you can tell me. If you only remember one or two, but there's other things that you remember, you can write that down. But the goal is to end on slide 6 today so that tomorrow you guys can do all the writing before you do your investigation. So if you have questions, ask Mr. Hamilton or Mr. Lewis, or you can email me and I will email you as soon as I can. Okay? Bye.